Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly, and today our topic is how to create customer.io customer from WebinarKit registration. So here my objective is that whenever I'm going to receive a new registration for a webinar in WebinarKit, then automatically by capturing that detail of that registration, I'm going to create a new customer in customer.io. So for my objective, I have to build a connection between WebinarKit and customer.io. So for building this connection, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing software for automation and integration. In Pabbly Connect, I need to use the concept of trigger and action. In trigger application, I'm going to use WebinarKit. In action application, I'm going to use customer.io. So how I'm going to build this connection? For that, let me take you to my computer screen. I hope all you can see my computer screen. And today we are going to see that how we can create customer.io customers from WebinarKit registration. Now suppose we have launched a new webinar on WebinarKit and now we are getting registration of user for that webinar. So here our objective is that as we are going to get a new registration for a webinar from WebinarKit, then we are going to capture the detail of that registration and we are going to use that detail to automatically create new customer in customer.io. So for this, what we are going to do is we are going to use Pabbly Connect. And with the help of Pabbly Connect, we are going to build a connection between WebinarKit and customer.io. So here, whenever we are going to get a new registration for a webinar from WebinarKit, then automatically we are going to create a new customer in customer.io. So for this, we are using Pabbly Connect. And now for using Pabbly Connect, we need to search for pabbly.com/connect in our browser and it will take us to this landing page of Pabbly Connect. Here we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you don't have any account with Pabbly Connect, then you just have to click on this sign up for free button and it will take only 2 minutes of your time and you will get 100 tasks free every month. Or if you already have an account, you can just sign in and you will get to see this page. So these are all the apps that Pabbly offers and we are going to use Pabbly Connect here. For that, I need to click here on this Access Now button under Pabbly Connect and it will direct us to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here, this is the workflow section and we can see all the workflows that we will create here. And this is the folder section. We can create new folder here and we can save any workflow in any particular folder that we want. Now here, I need to create new workflow. For that, I need to click here on this create workflow button and this window will pop up. Here I need to name my workflow. So I'm going to name it as my objective, which is to create customer.io customer from WebinarKit registration. Now I need to click on create. And this will take us to this most important window of our workflow. Here we have two boxes, trigger and action. So these are the two main principles on which our workflow works on. And trigger says when this happens, action says do this. So trigger is going to be the first step that will get executed in our workflow and action will just follow that. So we need to set up our trigger first and here my trigger application is going to be WebinarKit. So I'm going to select WebinarKit here and now I need to give a trigger event. So I'm going to open this tab and new webinar registration will be my trigger event. So I'm going to select this and now I need to connect WebinarKit in my workflow and for that I'm going to use this webhook URL and this webhook URL is going to work as a bridge between WebinarKit and Pabbly Connect. Now for connecting WebinarKit in my workflow, I need to follow all these instructions. And first I'm going to copy this webhook URL. Now I will take you to my WebinarKit account. And in WebinarKit, I have all these webinars. So I'm going to use this particular webinar of Pabbly webinar. So I'm going to open this drop down and I'm going to click on edit webinar. Now I need to go to others. And here in others, I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to find this webhook settings. So I'm going to open this. And here in this tab of registration webhook URL, I'm going to paste my webhook URL that I have copied from Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to paste that here. And now I need to scroll down and I need to click on save. So I have successfully updated my webinar and I have added my webhook. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect. And here in Pabbly Connect, we can see it is waiting for webhook response. So how we are going to get this webhook response? For that, what we need to do is we need to create a new registration for our webinar. So for creating a new registration, I need to take you back to WebinarKit. I will go back And here this is my webinar. So I'm going to get the link of this webinar. I'm going to copy the registration link and I'm going to open that in a new tab. Now with this registration link, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new registration. So first I need to give a first name. So my first name will be Alex. My last name will be John. Email will be alexjohn@pabblytudes.com and I'm going to give a phone number. So this will be a random phone number and I have filled all these details. Now I need to click on register now and I have created a new registration. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect. And here in Pabbly Connect, we can see I have received this response. So in this response, I have the phone number of my customer. Also, I have the first name that is Alex. I have the last name that is John. Email is alexjohn@pabblytudes.com and I have the timestamp and I have the date when I have created this registration. Now I have received all these details of my registration. Now what I need to do is I need to use all these details and I need to use these details to create a new customer in my customer.io account. So for that, what I need to do is I need to set up my actions tab. So I'm going to open this tab and here my action application is going to be customer.io. So I'm going to select customer.io and now I need to give an action event. So I'm going to open this tab and create customer will be my action event. So I'm going to select this and I need to connect customer.io in my workflow. So I'm going to click here on connect. I will click on add new connection and for connecting customer.io, I need the site ID and the API key. So how I can find these details? So for that, let me take you to my customer.io account. Here I need to go to settings and I will open account settings. And in account settings, I have this option of API credentials. So I'm going to open this. And here in this credentials, I have my site ID and the API key. So I'm going to copy all these details and I'm going to paste them in Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to copy these details and I have pasted them here. Now what I need to do is I need to click on save. And I have successfully connected customer.io with Pabbly Connect. Now for creating a new customer, what I need to do is I need to first give an ID. And here for the ID, I need to give a unique identifier for the customer to create or update the customer. So here for the ID, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the registration timestamp when I'm going to register a new user in WebinarKit. So I'm getting that timestamp or that ID from my WebinarKit response. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that detail and I'm going to map that detail here in this tab. So for that, what I need to do is I need to use mapping. And what mapping is a technique through which I can retrieve the data from the previous steps and the data that is changing will get replaced with the new data in the real time. So for mapping, I need to click here. I will open this response of WebinarKit. And here I have received this date timestamp. So I'm going to select this. And this is going to be my unique identifier. Now I need to give the email address. So I'm going to click here. I will open this response of WebinarKit. And here I'm going to map the email address. So I'm going to map this. And now for adding new attributes, what I need to do is I need to click on this plus icon button. And I need to enter the key and the value. So I'm going to click here on this plus icon button and I want to add 3 attributes. So I'm going to click here again and here I have this label and values. So in the label, I'm going to give my key and in the value, I'm going to give the value of my keys. So in the label, I'm going to give the keys of my attributes. So for the attributes, I'm going to use like first name, last name and the phone number. So I'm going to fill that here. So here these are my attributes and now in the value section, I'm going to give the value that I'm going to receive from WebinarKit. So I'm going to map my first name here. So my first name is Alex. Similarly, I'm going to map the last name. That is John. And I'm going to map the phone number. So I'm going to click here. I will open the response of WebinarKit. And I'm going to first map the country code. And then I'm going to map the phone number. So here I have mapped all the required details. Now what is going to happen is that as I have mapped all these details, and I'm going to receive a new response from my WebinarKit registration, then automatically as I'm going to receive the new response, then automatically all these details are going to get replaced and I'm going to get the new details in the real time. Now I need to click on Save and Send Test Request button. And here I have this response. So this is a positive response and this means that I have created a new customer in my customer.io account. Now to check this, let me take you to customer.io. I'm going to go back, and here I will go to people, and in people we can see I have created this new person which is my customer. So I'm going to open this, and here this is my customer. So this is my email, that is alexjohn@pabblytudes.com. I have this unique ID which is of my timestamp, and in this I have these attributes. So my first name is Alex, I have the last name that is John, and I have my random phone number. So here we can see that I have received all these details from my registration of webinar from WebinarKit, and I have used all those details to automatically create a new customer in customer.io. So here my connection between WebinarKit and customer.io is working successfully, and now whenever I'm going to receive a new registration for a webinar in WebinarKit, then automatically by using that registration detail, I'm going to create a new customer in customer.io. Now to check this in real time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to WebinarKit, and I'm going to open this webinar one more time. So here this is my registration page, and I'm going to make a new registration. So here my first name will be demo, last name will be user, email will be demouser@pabblytudes.com, and I'm going to give a random phone number, and I'm going to click on register now. And I have created this new registration. Now what should happen is that automatically by using all these details of my registration, a new customer should be created in my customer.io account. So to check this, let me take you to customer.io. I will go back, and here we can see that I have created this new customer. So the email is demouser@pabblytudes.com. So I'm going to open this, and here this is the name of my customer, that is demouser. Email is demouser@pabblytudes.com. This is my unique ID. Also in this I have my attributes. So the first name is demo, last name is user, and this is the random phone number. So here we can see I have just used these details to create a new registration for a webinar in WebinarKit, and automatically by using those details, I have created this new customer in customer.io. So my connection and automation between WebinarKit and customer.io is working successfully. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect, and here I have created this connection between WebinarKit and customer.io to create customer.io customer from WebinarKit registration. So let's summarize what we did here. So first I have set up my trigger, and my trigger application was WebinarKit, and my trigger event was new webinar registration. Then I have set up my action step, and my action application was customer.io, and my action event was create customer. So this is how I have successfully created this workflow, and you can also create this workflow by following all the steps that I did in my workflow. And I'm also going to put the link of my workflow in the description so you can check it out from there, and thank you for watching this video. Not just these applications, you can automate and integrate a lot more applications like this by using Pabbly Connect. So if you want to reach out to us, then email us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, then you can write us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you have any issue with the pricing, then you can visit this link. And if you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.